I'm just giving the background. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our distinguished guest and speaker, Dr. Krishna Ella, AMA Vice President, Dr. Uh, Savan Godiawala, Mr. Mohol Sarabhai, our GC member, and Mr. and Mrs. Karthikebai Sarabhai, ladies and gentlemen. We are really honored today to have Dr. Krishna Ella to deliver the 43rd Vikram Sarabhai lecture. As you all know, he is the chairman and managing director of Bharat Biotech International. And he and his company for many years have been involved in core research in areas like immunology, molecular biology, and several others, and even the uh, product development in these and related areas, and one of them being vaccines, as all of us know. Uh, Accordingly, he has chosen an appropriate topic, basically, this innovation and entrepreneurship, looking at the work he's doing. And we are really grateful to you, sir, for having accepted our invitation for today's 43rd Vikram Sarabhai lecture. Coming to the event itself, ladies and gentlemen, you are aware that Dr. Vikram Sarabhai was a great scientist, industrialist, visionary, father of the Indian space program, and of course, a great institutional builder. And our very own Ahmedabad houses so many institutions which are initiated and nurtured by him, which include the Physical Research Laboratory, ATIRA, the campus we are in, Space Application Center at ISRO, IIM, the Vikram Sarabhai Community Science Center, and AMA itself, which was founded by him in 1956. And again, at a national level, the embodiments of Dr. Sarabhai's contribution to space science and technology are the International Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station, the Experimental Satellite Communication Earth Station at Ahmedabad, and the Space Science and Technology Center, and the Sriharikota Rocket Launching Range. Of course, there were so many other institutions, but I'm not naming all of them. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai demonstrated in his own life his conviction that the ultimate end of all scientific endeavor was peace, prosperity, and the full release of human creative potentials. His vision for human society of the future was both wide and deep, and complemented his concept of holistic science. He had learned the use of tools in physical sciences, but spoke the language of social sciences. He combined these to gain insight into the dynamic nature of all knowledge from the environment. His laboratory was extended to the entire country, and his community was amply demonstrated in his pioneering the management movement and applied industrial research. In his lifetime, he was honored with on so many platforms in many parts of the country and the world, and he provided an inspired leadership to Ahmedabad Management Association, which he founded, and he was the president for 4 years. To bring light of his spirit into the lives of Indian men and women, and to promote a fuller understanding of the nature of human existence among them, the Vikram Sarabhai Memorial Lecture is dedicated in his memory. The brochure distributed to all of you, that lists the past lectures of this series, and which include many prominent people like Dr. Amartya Sen, Dr. C.K. Prahlad, Dr. Swaminathan, Kumar Mangalam Birla, just to name a few. And on behalf of all of you and AMA, I once again welcome Dr. Ella, and I request our past president, Mr. Yatinder Sharma, to come up and welcome Dr. Krishna Ella with a bouquet. I'll request Dr. Savan Godiawala, our Vice President, to give a brief introduction of today's speaker.
As the time moves, the introduction time that Dr. Krishna is giving us is reduces. The introduction is very long, but he said that keep it 1 minute. When our president started, now he says 30 seconds. Thank you, Dr. Krishna, President Sir, Divyesh Bhai, Mohal Bhai Sarabhai, Kartike Bhai Sarabhai, our governing council members, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Of course, indeed a pleasure to have Dr. Krishna. My job is to give a 30-second introduction, which is very difficult, but I'll try my level best. Chairman, Managing Director, Bharat Biotech, all of us know him. In last 2 years, all of us know him. You know, the role, the significant and important role that he has played for the economy and all of us. He is a gold medalist from his university. PhD from Wisconsin Madison, a research scientist in molecular biology, and strongly believes in technology, innovative technology. Under his leadership, Bharat Biotech has grown to become a global leader, as we all know, in innovative vaccine. And he's involved in shaping India's science, education, and policy. So his academics also that he has given his contribution to. A Padma Bhushan, Dr. Krishna, that he's the civilian, the third highest civilian award that he has got, and several awards among which ET Award for the recognition of healthcare and GRD Tata Entrepreneur Award. So I know he will ask me to just step down. So over to you, sir. Thank you so much for coming, and we are very eager to.
I think this is my probably the visit after 23 years to Ahmedabad, and in my lifetime this is a second visit. So I think it's really honored to be here. I think I want to thank Radia and Savan and Mall and all the dignitaries who are here. And I think it's a proud. I'm not just usually I'm a straight shooter, so I don't talk for pleasing somebody here. At this age, I don't have to please anyone now, because I can't please my wife also, unfortunately. So no, I can't please anyone. So I don't want to be pleasing anybody now in my life now at this stage. So I think it's really honored because I have a lot of respect for Dr. Sarabhai. You look at that one individual as a scientist. Usually, many scientists are useless businessmen. Okay, my massage fellow says PhD means permanently head damaged people. Okay, so I think you see the vision of one individual. He thought not only science, business should have an impact of it. Number one. Number two, for that, what ecosystem can be created? He created IAM, he design, architectural, all those things. Just one vision, one individual. The vision of him is created ecosystem. I think everyone in this room should pay royalty to Sarabhai Foundation. I think you should really pay. Ahmedabad, particular people should pay, because he has done that to the city what has to be done, and one individual can do it. I think he's really proud. And I want to thank the president, past presidents, vice president, and also governing council, and all members of AMA and friends of Gujarat. And I want to make a simple presentation. All of you relax. I'm not going to talk too much COVID and all the vaccine and all. We are tired of listening to COVID, listening, watching the TV itself is the most negative thinking in the world. And reading a newspaper is another sickening. Everything, they talk only COVID. I don't know why they talk COVID. I don't understand. In US, I was there last 3 months, 2 weeks there. No TV channel talks about COVID at all. But COVID is very high in all the areas. 35% against COVID attack after 4 doses of COVID vaccine. Okay, but nobody talks. In India, small thing, everything they keep on flaring up. And I think my suggestion is tell all the media people not to talk about COVID anymore. I think that's very important. Just Gujarat. You just look at simple as an individual. What I look at in Gujarat, you look at Mahatma Gandhi. Many people will talk all those things. I'll tell you one good example of my life. Thabo Mbeki, South African president, he came to our plant. You know what he said? You are indebted to South Africa. You have to help African countries because you have to be grateful to us. I couldn't understand why. What is he talking about it? His wife, Thabo Mbeki, she said, "Did you understand what he is talking?" I said, no, no ma'am, I can't understand. Then Thabo Mbeki wife, she said, if Mahatma Gandhi was not exported from South Africa to India, you would not have got the independence. I was shocked. See the simple observations of that we would not have got the freedom if we have not exported Mahatma Gandhi. Okay? So you see the individuals. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Morarji Desai, now Prime Minister Modi. You see, you contributed as a state, has contributed to the India what is required. And I think that's a great story for Gujarat. And every one of you in this room should be grateful and proud of your culture, proud of your state. Okay, I'm going to touch upon innovation. The reason I thought, COVID vaccine, people will get tired of listening. And I want more younger generation to challenge them here in this hall. And no classroom teaches innovation. What is innovation? Okay, and innovation is a lot of definitions. And if the definition you decode it, you still cannot understand what is it. So I'm going to make it simple to all of you. What you can see that as innovation, simple thing, as a scientist, as an observer, and as an entrepreneur. You look at in last 120 days, the type of innovation has happened in the pandemic time is amazing story. It's very important. Any war happens, innovation comes out. This time, pandemic has also created innovation in the global. One good HIV cure by using just stem cell therapy with a CRISPR technology, they've proven HIV cure has happened. And paralyzed patient, there are 4 patients in Switzerland, I think, they had paralyzed. They were almost bedridden. They can't do anything. They made an electrode and made an artificial intelligence and a software developed according to the individual's body weight and all that. They developed a software, and now these 4 individuals can cycle, can swim also. A simple observation, just see that. Look at the internet, you will see that, all those things. I've just made a simple summary of it. But the 4 individuals now, they're able to paralyze people, they're able to do. So I want you, why I'm saying this one, where do we stand as India? We talk too much. Oh, India is great, India is great, India is all great. If it's great, why you are still called as a third world country? That is why I want to challenge some of the young people here in this room. And MIT has come out biodegradable duct tape. Like, for example, you have a surgery done here, you don't have to have a stitching done. You put a duct tape, it heals, and so no surgeon is required. You have a biodegradable duct tape. Pig heart. So pig is a heart, can be used for transplanting to the humans. So what they did is, if you take a pig heart and put it in the human body rejects it. So what they did is, they're using a CRISPR technology, they need 8 genes in pig, they knocked out. Some of the genes which are histocompatibility genes, they knocked out in pig and made that heart to receive it by the human body. And the person was survived for 60 days in the hospital, but he died afterwards. But at least he started this research in that direction, in that movie. Supercomputer for antibiotic resistance. If this is a molecule, if a simple chemical molecule, in a supercomputer, they've picked up same existing molecule. If I change hydroxyl group here, in a supercomputer, it becomes multi-drug resistant strain also becomes susceptible. Now, any bacteria which are not responding to ciprofloxacin can make them to be susceptible by changing one simple molecule, simple structure, one hydroxyl, one hydrogen, whatever it is, by using supercomputers. And drone, some of the rural area, when heart patient was there, that auxiliary defibrillator was shipped by the drone in Sweden. They saved the patients. And sequencing in 5 hours. The morning you give blood sample, by evening you have entire human genome done. So whatever your gene, the entire roadmap, the entire genome is being sequenced in less than 5 hours in Stanford. Plastic in MIT has come out, plastic as strong as steel. It is better than steel actually, but lighter weight than a steel. That has came out just 5-6 months ago. Recently, just about 4 or 5 days back, with artificial intelligence, using 200 million proteins in 3-dimensional structure, which would have taken normally, would take another 30-40 years for all the globe to do it. But using AI, they made a 200 million proteins in 3-dimensional structure, which is very powerful. And 10 lakh species of that protein, 200 million protein comes from the 1 million species. And it's totally revolutionary. And this concept is going to help us a lot of designing the drugs, all these things going to have very rapid phase going to happen now in the world. Where are we divided world? We are in the divided world. Rich country, poor country, developing concrete jungle divides, US and India. NATO defense is dividing the world. And oil, the Middle East and non-Middle East here is dividing the world. Knowledge and knowledge, future is going to be knowledge divider. No choice. It's going to be that. The who has got knowledge is going to control the economy of the country or the world. And that is what the game is going to be. Innovation is going to be key for that factor. It is not the cost arbitration. We're selling the prices at a low price, we are going to be wiped out. We'll be wiped out in that game, in the process. So I think the key is going to be innovation. So why innovation? You need a higher GDP growth, and innovation brings a leadership. Why US taking leadership is only the innovation. Japanese copied partially, and they innovated, and they become a leader. So that brings a leadership role. It's very important. Koreans have done the same, similar partly, but different story. So where do we stand as innovation, as a country? We are 48th. So we still think we are intelligent people. We are very bright people, intelligent people. That's how we have pseudo system got into our mind that we are intelligent. Okay? But that is not reality in translating. Whether it's our problem, our family problem, or our ecosystem, our university problem, that I don't want to blame right now. But certainly I'll talk some of the few points, what is that relevant to that. So we're still a long way to go. Who creates innovation? It is not the company. It is not Bharat Biotech creates innovation. It is not Reliance. It is not Adani. It does create. It's the people like you, individuals, who creates the thing. It is not the country who creates innovation. It is individual. So I think the key here in the room is individuals, the young generation. Their individual mind is very important for the innovation, not the companies. So don't blame the companies. So what is I put it in very simple language, and I'm going to elaborate this. The innovation has got three components. One component, imagination, and knowledge. Knowledge means a degree. You have Gujarat University degree. Okay? And skill set is important. I'll make a simple example. You have catering technology degree. You have heard about catering technology? The catering technology degree fellow, he comes with a good degree, but he doesn't know how to make dokla. Will you hire him? Will you hire him? He's got a good degree, catering technology degree. Will you hire him? So that's a skill set. So if you don't have skill set, you have one paper degree, is of no use. So keep in mind, Chinese have advanced in science and technology because of good knowledge and good skill set. That skill set, even without language of English, they're able to succeed because of the skill set. That's the difference between us and them. That's a major. Compared to us and then to Chinese and us versus the US is imagination. I'll give an example, simple example of imagination. I'll touch upon a little bit. But you look at an architect. In architect, you tell them, I want a design of a house like this. He imagines what your expectations are. He designs house drawing. That's imagination. So I'll come back again, some more examples. So innovation fast. India was the innovative country. Zero. I mean, everybody knows zero was invented by Indians. If the zero was not there, today my friend Seven, Deloitte also will not be there. Okay. I think everything is a software, Microsoft, everything has come because of that. Where do we go? When do we get Lord Ganesha? Lord Ganesha, I had to attend the exam, but I have not studied, but I should get 100 marks. I should pass NEET exam. I should pass IIT exam, but I will not study. Take care of all those things. So that is what we look at it. But look at, as a scientist, I look at it, is a xenotransplantation. Head is an organ. Okay, it's like a kidney, liver, pancreas, heart, like exactly an organ. Head is also an organ. So you put a head organ on elephant head on the human body. And even South Koreans have done rat head put on the mice. It's successful, transplantation. So a lot of nerves, but it's made a success for some time. Okay, so I look at it as a xenotransplant. It's an imagination of that. It's not a scientific. I mean, I'm not talking about religious connotation, but I'm more talking as a imagination power of that thing. Golconda in Hyderabad, 3 kilometers down, somebody can shout, and 3 kilometers down up, the person can hear. There was no Bose engineer. There was no sound engineers those days. There's no Hollywood and Bollywood in those days. And just imagination how the port was built, how sound can travel and it hits the wall and how it spreads out the voice. It's a imagination. I mean, there was no engineers, nothing. It's just imagination power. of that. Many are there like that. I can give, you look at steel was invented by, cataract surgery was invented, diamond cuts was done by India. Indian ink, we call indigo, ink. Ink is invented by Indians. And the good example, Surat University, you can say, nanotechnology, we call big words nanotechnology. Oh, nanotechnology. Gujarat University gives nanotechnology. What do they give? They give only paper degree. The nanotechnology give only paper degree, nothing. But I'm telling you, the diamond cutter in Surat is the best skill set man for nanotechnology. You look at the diamond, the jewelry, which is made nano precision cut. It's a nano precision cut. Nanotechnology means nanometer. That's all. Anything which has got nanometer has got nanotechnologies. You bring it to size of nanometer, it becomes a nanometer technologies. And you look at the nanotechnology, the best skill set of the world is a diamond cutter or gold jewelry smith are the best nanotechnologists. Only thing, they don't have Gujarat University degree. Present, where do we stand innovation? We are lost our educational system. Particularly my generation was driven by a job. The pressure was, I'm from a farming family. My father and mother job is, you educate, get a bank job, State Bank of India probationary office. That's all the game is. Get some job. If you get a government job, it's good. If not, get a private job. That's all the game is, nothing else. So we are a coaching class, exam driven, unfortunately. We're everything exam driven. Market driven. Electrical, you go electrical, mechanical is better. US visa driven. If you study computer science, you get a US visa easy. Okay. And job driven. Middle East, like in Kerala, people going into job driven. Parents driven, status driven. My son has to be studied in IIT or studied in Gujarat University, computer science. So that type of status symbol has really destroyed our culture. Our innovative brain has gone in that mind. And the farmer is a truly role model of an entrepreneur. He invests 100 rupees, he has to get 120 rupees. I consider Indian farmers are the best entrepreneurs of the world. I don't want to touch upon the rice productivity and all that. That's a different story. But I'll tell you, you heard about canola oil? How many heard about canola oil? All US people would have known. Canola oil. Canola oil is nothing but mustard oil. And Canadian government took mustard seeds from India and they reduced the rancidity of that smell. And with a classical breeding, no biotechnology, classical breeding. And they call Canadian oil. Voila means oil. Canadian, can means Canadian. So called Canadian oil. If you call mustard oil, you compete with India. So they're branded as canola. Simple strategy. Very powerful strategy. So today, 50% of agriculture export of Canada depends only on canola oil, nothing else. Okay. And I'll tell you a good example. How many people are any Telugu, Tamil people here? One guy, Tamil, Nallanna, you heard about it? Nallanna? Till oil, sesame oil, in South Indian language, both Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, and Kannada, all the 4 languages called Manchanuna, Nallanna, Vallanna. Like me, all are good oil. You ask the Director General of ICR here, why it's called good oil? He doesn't know science. You see, right there in front of us, but we don't know what the science is. And then we look for innovation somewhere else. Some Americans can give the science. No, it's there in front of us. But we have not figured out why is my grandmother's called as a good oil, this oil. And you look at South Indian pickle, all South Indian pickles are made with the sesame oil, till oil. All North Indian pickle made with the mustard oil. You look at a simple contrast of that. But we don't realize why that has happened. My grandmother has said this good oil, but why it is good oil? We don't know the science yet. That's a sad part of it. Okay. And I think we drink orange juice. The reason we drink orange juice, some of our relatives in US, they drink orange juice. So we also drink orange juice. No connotation, no science, nothing. We drink orange juice because Americans are drinking, Europeans drinking, should be good for health. And now whatever the orange drink you drink in this country, it comes from Chinese and Brazil concentrate. And nothing is grown. Whatever Nagpur orange is grown is a Santra oranges, is a fruit, not as for juice. Okay. Today, you heard about kino fruit in Punjab? My friend kino fruit, he forgotten after coming to Gujarat, I think. So there's a kino fruit in Punjab, and that kino fruit, nobody converted into juice at all. In South India, musambi, you heard about sweet musambi, sweet lime? Have you seen a Tetra Pak? Where? Where did you see that? You saw the Musambi juice? Come on, Musambi juice. If you're not seen, no, don't see that. Say yes. Nobody has seen. Why? Because we have not made Musambi juice in Tetra Pak. If Americans grown that Musambi, they would have put Tetra Pak. We would also copied that. Okay. Kino fruit is another good example of Punjab. Coconut. Everybody, Harvard, process, everybody said it's high saturated. You should not eat any coconut oil. You'll get killed. You'll be killed with a heart attack problem. That's what American scientists said in Harvard and everybody. It's highly saturated and all that is not good for health. And Kerala people, their massage is coconut oil, head massage is also coconut oil, drinking also coconut oil, and cooking also coconut oil. And those people are healthy. And why is healthy, we don't know. They don't get heart attack at all. Okay. Now, in US, everybody drinking 1 tablespoon of virgin coconut oil every day, 1 tablespoon in US. Everybody drinking. I saw so many people buying the virgin coconut oil, drinking every day 1 tablespoon. Now they said it is Alzheimer and Parkinson is good. Okay. Now you go back to US, everything cosmetic, everything. Chips is also coconut chips, coconut shampoo, coconut biscuit, everything coconut now in US. The same coconut was grown in this country, but we were not understood what is coconut also in this country. When Americans said it's good, and now Netherlands says good, now we are also thinking it's good. See, we have lost our thinking capability of chutney. Have you seen chutney powder in any pre-processed food anywhere? You chutney powder, you put it into water, it becomes chutney. Have you seen anything? You've seen a chutney powder, put in the water, it becomes chutney? I want to know that company, man. Which company is that? Chutney powder, food process industry, chutney powder, you put in the water, it becomes chutney. Chutney? No, I have not seen. Good. Good knowledge for me today. Okay? Huh?
Not the mint one, green one. You talk about the green mint.
I'm talking green mint chutney. Green mint chutney. Oh, it's good. If it is there, good. But samosa, we're eating with ketchup nowadays. My grandson, he says, idli, Tata, give me ketchup. He's asked me ketchup is better for him, not chutney. See, the generation is changing. You see that? The concept of marketing is changing the game. Okay. I think future is one thing great about this country. Today, whether Sharma or otherwise, our ideas are, if son, they want to go to school, college in US, they don't mind selling their house and send the child for education. So we are a knowledge seeker as a society, as a family. So we love our children to be educated. We don't mind spending money. We are selling the house also. Even ladies can mortgage their jewelry and send the child for education. So that's a culturally, we are different from all other part of the world. I think we are knowledge seeker. That's a great thing of the country. The parents are really, we have to thank the parents for that, I think. How to kill innovation? Simple. 2 mobile phone, 1 phone here, and laptop watching, and phone you're talking, and then watching email, and you don't watch anything in the surrounding. There's no free mind to think for you. If you don't have free mind, you don't watch anything, you're not going to be innovative. Okay, so spend less time on social media. Okay, I think less time on mobile, less time on email is a better for you, a better thing, innovation. My journey, entrepreneurship, I'm going to go very fast now. I came back India 96, 97, and vaccine is important. National security is very, very important. It's not just health of people, but national security, where the economy is important. You just see in pandemic how it has not killed so many people per se, but it destroyed the economy of the country. That's why it is important. And I think US, only 2 companies, Merck and Pfizer. Moderna has come just now as a startup. But Europe, only 2 companies, again, GSK and Sanofi. And no vaccine manufacturing in 95% of the countries in the world. So highly strategized, highly technology oriented, highly IPR issues, a lot of other issues, delivery, so much complex, so much of clinical trial. Not like pharma. Pharma, there's no clinical trial. There's so much of clinical trial. And I think, Indian pharma and biotech, we were generic, we are biosimilar, not even one new molecule has been come out from India. So I came to Snake Valley in Hyderabad. That is a lot of custard and cobras were running. And there was no road, nothing. and we created a first company to Bharat Biotech to locate. And I was instrumental when Chandrababu Naidu was the chief minister. We should be converting into genome cluster. And today, and I think today more than probably, I think, sorry, 800 industries are located, all knowledge-based industries located, 800 industries surrounded by me. Now, it's now the largest genome valley, is the largest cluster probably in the country right now. And I think our first vaccine, hepatitis B vaccine, we launched by Abdul Kalam. And I think one thing we did is we didn't never give a dividend. And no, I depend only on my salary. I put all our money on the R&D and fixed assets. And I said no innovation, no new vaccine has come from India. And we made the first rotavirus vaccine and the Indo-US bilateral program, Indo-US WAP program. And this was going on last 40 years. And we were the first one to get into around 20 years back, this project. And we have done the first efficacy trial in the developing world. I'm going to ask one challenging question to you, all of you. And we have done the first efficacy trial. 6 months pregnant lady has to be given a consent to give their baby for a clinical trial. The moment the baby was born, in 4 weeks, we need to get vaccinated. How many ladies are willing to give their babies for a trial? Can lift anybody? Why I'm asking this question? See how we believe in science. If Americans had done science, we just buy the product. But we want Indian innovation has to happen. If there's no clinical research parallelly, how do you prove that product? For that, then we had a Gate Foundation funding this project, and US FDA is also involved, and no bribe should be given to a mother. If I give mother a bribe, that's unethical. So we have to do very strategically, and I had 3 years of institutional review board approvals. Stanford, CDC, NIH, and Department of Biotechnology, All India Institute of Medical Science, CMC, Vellore, so many people involved. And what we did is we gave a mother and child healthcare insurance for 3 years. So anything happens, whether it's a placebo vaccine or vaccinated, doesn't matter. Whichever is that, mother and child were taken care of health for 3 years. And we given ambulatory vehicle, and every 3 villages, 1 vehicle in the middle. We've given every mobile phone to a mother. If she press the button, and within 10 minutes, the ambulatory vehicle will be there, taken to the baby to either All India Institute of Medical Science or KME Pune or CMC Vellore. So we provided that without bribing any mothers. So that's why I'm telling you, I ask all these questions to ladies. No lady has lifted me in India so far in last 10 years. Last 10 years, no lady is lifted that I'll give my baby for a trial. So just imagine how complexity is this start of trials. Very important. That's what and our Honorable Prime Minister launched the vaccine, and when with the first term, and we have strong stories around that. We made a 5-drop concept like polio drop. Just put that. Rotavac is basically diarrhea, child diarrhea, diarrheal vaccine. It's a diarrhea vaccine. Okay. And my grandson was the first one to take the vaccine. Okay. But again, I am selfish. After the clinical trial is over. Okay. So there's a write-off. But when he was, if my daughter was pregnant, I would have made her to be a payer. But she was not pregnant that time when the trial was going on. She was just got married, not pregnant. So I think otherwise, I would have made her to definitely lend her baby for the clinical trial. Okay. I think I had only one launch, one global molecule from India. That was only one thing. We made typhoid conjugate. The babies in Indian rural situation, they lick the floor. They have unhygienic food. So most problem is that fever. They get a fever. That fever, what doctor gives you 3 antibiotics. When 3 antibiotics given, multi-drug resistance problem. And child gets a lot of other problems. Okay. So multi-drug resistance is one of the problem, and typhoid is one of the problem in the village situation. And existing typhoid vaccine cannot be given to child less than 2 years. That was the problem with the technology. So we made a vaccine, we launched a vaccine, and I went to Gate Foundation. I said, I want to launch this vaccine globally. When I said, we can't believe your clinical trial in India. You're done in a clinical trial in India where the antibiotic abuse is so much, we can't make out whether the vaccine is protecting or antibiotic is protecting. We can't make a differentiation. So they said, we can't rely on your data, although we approved vaccine in India. So I said, I'm ready for any challenges. Then they said, they gave funding to Oxford, and they said human challenge studies. Now I want to ask here, how many people want to drink bacteria Solution inside, drink. Tell me how many? Boys. Boys also, same problem. I thought ladies only problem. At least they're selfish about giving their baby. But men is also more selfish actually here. Okay? So they don't want to learn. 140 people in Oxford, medical students, graduate students, nurses, they gave a lend their hand. And we had a double blind, one side blinded, double blind. One people are placebo, one is vaccinated, and we have 89% efficacy in the challenge studies. That is severely, some of the people who got placebo, they were severely affected for 1 month. Okay, so I think what I'm saying is, I'm trying to educate you people how to think about clinical research. Also, very important. We did the human challenge studies. Is one of the medical student who took this vaccine, this bacteria into that. We got Gavi, WHO. Then again, next question people ask you, okay, it works in human challenge studies, but if I release in Ahmedabad in the schools, if I vaccinate schools, will they protect in the long term for a child? If I give it a vaccine to all the children in the schools? That's the question, next question people ask after efficacy, called effectiveness, we call. So the Gates Foundation granted, we did in 7 countries, including Pakistan, neighbor, actually Karachi. Here is a major multi-drug resistance problem right in Karachi. So we have sold 20 million doses to save some of the children who are not responding to you, including ciprofloxacin. Various countries we've done trial. And Nature Medicine said this is one of the first innovation, one of the best innovation the world can create in 2018. That came in Nature Medicine. We sold 10 billion doses. We are the highest clinical trial. Probably we are the only company in India and only company in the developing world, including over China also and Koreans also. Okay, probably the highest clinical trial doing more than 10, 15 countries, including Palestinian, Zambia, Ghana, Vietnam, and Cambodia, and a lot of other countries, Madagascar, a lot of Malawi, Kenya, all those countries, more than 12, 15 countries. No other company does so many trials in those kind of. And we have strong patent protection. And we got, thanks to Great Foundation and Wellcome Trust and Indian government, all of them helped us funding because all the clinical trial, very expensive proportion. Like for example, Covaxin phase 3 trial is almost 500 crores budget. 500 crores we had to spend on phase 3 trial. It's a very expensive proportion. If the phase 3 fails, your product is gone. So it's very simple. One jackpot. You hit or lose everything. Simple. And I think Gates was there, Melinda was there. And we have published quite heavily. I think our impact journal, we are far better than even IITs and some of the top institutes in the country also, in terms of high impact journals. And we got various awards, and US Health Secretary, US FDA Commissioner visited, Senator Kerry was there, the Myanmar president. And now I'm coming to story, interesting story. Neglected pandemic. Look at 40,000 unknown viruses, 10,000 zoonotic. Zoonotic means an animal and human. So what is happening with the real estate craze we have? Now what is happening? We are going towards the forest. The forests are getting deforested. And the forest animals are coming close to us. We are going to close to them. Not they are coming too close to us. We are going close to them. So in the process, these 10,000 viruses are exchanging information between us and them, and again 2 animal and 1 human being, like that, crossing each other. And then it's happening. That is how all this pandemic is. Look at neglected diseases. You look at neglected disease mostly in Asia and Africa. And all these neglected disease turns into a pandemic. You look at China, Japanese encephalitis, dengue, SARS, malaria, influenza, COVID-19, MERS in the Middle East, and Zika, yellow fever in Africa, all those things. All these neglected disease turns into pandemic. So US want to protect India or Africa. Is not that they want to protect their country by protecting here first. So the source of inoculum comes from here. Unless it's protected here, they will not be protected. So with all the global travel, you see, nothing is going to be protected. And I think, how do we take a leadership in the pandemic? We have found chikungunya vaccine. We were the first company in the country in 2006-7, first sequenced the genome of the chikungunya, and we made a vaccine candidate. That is the time no government want to support me. Chikungunya is useless vaccine. Who wants that chikungunya vaccine? India always, we throw out anything Indian innovation, we throw it in the garbage first. So I think that is what has happened also this one. But now the CEPI is funded, the CEPI International Agency funded us. Now we are doing a phase 3 trial in Philippines, Thailand, Colombia, and Puerto Rico also. Okay, and with IVI, International Vaccine Institute, Korea is doing the phase 3 efficacy trial. You should hit the market next year, first quarter next year to the market. So we looked at genome sequencing of CEPI on chikungunya, where it came from. It came an African strain. It was not an Asian strain. Okay, so based on sequence analysis, it told me that it came from French island Madagascar. You see the circle there? That is called Madagascar. Okay, the circle is the Madagascar. It came from there to India based on sequence analysis. Then we asked a simple question: what will come from that Madagascar next to India? Simple question. See, always one thing keep in mind, young people: ask simple question, you'll find the best solution. That's my teacher in Wisconsin told me. Think simple, ask simple question, you'll find the best solution. And our teachers in India, we complicate everything science, very complicated. If they complicate, the teacher is very good. Okay, so I think that's a problem with us in our culture. Okay, so I think that came from Madagascar. Then we asked a simple question: what can come from Madagascar? So chikungunya was there, dengue was there, yellow fever was there. Fourth one, Zika was there. Okay, then we said, okay, Zika might come to India. Let's work on that. And we started working, and we filed here. You look at 15th July 2016, we filed the patent. 15th July, and exactly December 10th, pandemic in Brazil after 6 months. So we started working in 2014 itself on Zika. That mosquito, instead of coming to India, it went in opposite direction. Simple, just like Columbus, it went in opposite direction. So mosquito coming this side, chikungunya came this side along with wind, and that went in the opposite direction to Brazil. It went to Brazil, and it was a major problem. And Zika is still going to be a problem in India, one way or other. Pregnant ladies is going to be sensitive issues on that, and it's already appearing in Rajasthan and in Uttar Pradesh and other states already appearing. Something is now kept a little confidential on that. But we have completed phase 1, phase 2 entry. Thabo Mbeki, he told me another statement. He said, Mahatma Gandhi we exported, so we got the freedom. Second sentence, he said, all your Indian companies want to exploit African market only. You want only market from Africa, but you don't want to solve the African problem. There's one simple statement he said that hit my mind. I said, I had to do something for Africa. Sitting here, we had to do something. So we partnered. One of the poultry bacteria is hitting the humans there. It's a serious disease in Africa, particularly West Africa, Central Africa. Very, very serious disease. Entire Africa is very serious. The poultry is staying next to their house. The poultry bacteria is going hitting them, and now they're getting a serious disease. It's much worse than malaria now, this bacteria. Okay, so we started partnering with the University of Maryland and Wellcome Trust, and we completed phase 1 in Baltimore in US. We finished the phase 1. Now phase 2 and 3 will start in an African country. Thanks to Wellcome Trust and Gate Foundation, both are funding us on this project to phase 2 and phase 3 in Africa. So that's my job, to help what Thabo Mbeki said. We don't want to exploit you. We want to give it back to your society and help them society. COVID made one country. One entire world is made as one country. COVID vaccine, you look at the different structure. Now, I think everybody's a scientist, COVID scientist in this room now. So with thanks to all this bombarding information. So here the vaccine is very simple. They take every piece of the area that convert into DNA and RNA into DNA. Either you use protein or DNA or RNA. Simple. Okay. You make one whole virus. You just imagine this is a virus, and you have inside RNAs there. You destroy RNA, but it looks like RNA, same virus. That's called inactivated vaccine. That's our COVAX. Simple. It looks very similar, but no RNA will be there. RNA will be destroyed. So it cannot multiply in the human body. That's all the simple concept. But it looks, body will recognize, oh, as a live virus has come to me. So I have to produce some defense mechanism. That's what it's doing. Some other people, what they do is, they take a S protein out like this. That S protein is used as a protein, as a vaccine. Somebody else used the DNA here. The DNA is used as a vaccine. And somebody used the DNA converted into RNA, and the RNA virus, mRNA vaccine. So all of you know vaccine expert, am I right? Am I right? That's simple. As simple as the science is. Okay? And we partnered with ICMR and NIV. And the only thing is, we partnered with ICMR. The reason is, there was no vaccine for COVID that time. When you're working, and employees are working in the company, if somebody dies working while virus, we are working the live virus in 1,000 liters fermenters. I mean, Moel knows how the fermenter looks. 1,000-liter fermenters, live virus is multiplied. And if anybody breathes something, you're done. And person dies, you get into a big paper article and arrested, Dr. Ella is arrested, put him in criminal cases. 120, even Gujarat will also file a criminal case on me, sitting in that world. There are so many people, jobless people in this country, to file only cases. Okay? And their only mind is only negative thinking. So there's a lot of people like that. So we had only one advantage we had is that we are the only company in the world had a BSL-3 containment production facility. BSL-3 labs are there all over the world. BSL-3 lab. Don't confuse with the lab and production facility. So production facility, we are the only one in the world had that BSL-3 facility. It came in handy. And also, I believe in a vaccine should be safe. Important 3 fundamentals in a vaccine: safety, safety, safety. And you're giving it to healthy people. When you give it to healthy people, you don't want them get into some trouble. Like some of the mRNA vaccine is causing heart attack problem. Okay, so I don't want to get that into this thing. Safety, even efficacy a little down, doesn't matter, but you should have safety profile. Very, very important. And that is what we did in a COVID vaccine in this thing. We did the animal monkey challenge studies, hamster challenge studies, all that, you can look at, publish, if somebody is interested to read the articles. We've done phase 1 and 2 in various parts of the world. And I think Gujarat, we have not done it. And Honorable Prime Minister visited our plant. And I think that visit was really inspired us and actually motivated to see a country's leader comes to our plant and me interacting with our scientists. What else you want in life? That's one of the best things can happen to a life of a person, scientist. Okay, and that is what has happened. And we did, now we did a phase 3 trial. And then Indian companies doing clinical trial. How can you trust Indian clinical trial? Next question. Immediately Indians itself is enemies for me, not the outsiders actually. So dangerous. So we have to hire Equia, is a multinational company, US-based company, multinational. We hired them to do the clinical trial as an independent body to do the clinical trial. These are 26,000 people in 26 sites, and 1,000 people from both Bharat Biotech and Equia. People are involved, and principal investigator, various centers. Because that time, no logistic, no transportation, no flights, nothing. So we still had to do the clinical trial. That was a challenging thing. It's easy to do now, but not that time. And I think we had the highest number of publication compared to even Pfizer and Moderna in terms of publication. And we are this is the largest clinical trial next to US. And 26,000. Oxford has done 8,000 people. They've done both in 5,000 in Africa and 3,000 in UK, South Africa and US. Chinese have not done the phase 3 efficacy trial at that time. They did after us. They did efficacy trial in Dubai and Brazil afterwards. So, but these are probably the largest clinical trial next to US and third country in the world to complete the efficacy trial. And our Honorable Prime Minister was a vaccine. We were not aware of that he was taking our vaccine, but we are proud of that, honestly. And I think Mansukh Bhai has launched a stamp for a Covaxin, and thank for him. And the COVID vaccine candidate, I look at one thing. Any injectable vaccine problem is, when you take injectable, it only protects the lower lung. So that's why people who are vaccinated with the infection, with the injectable vaccine, you still get RT-PCR positive, or you still get infection, and you get 1 day fever, 2 days fever. That's common because your upper lung is not protected. Whereas nasal gives you upper protection, entire protection. So now, when we started 2 years back this program, everybody laughed at me, honestly. Everybody laughed. Now look at the internet, now you'll see, entire US is talking only nasal is the best now. At least they're following me now. At least first time they're following me. And I was talking 2 years back, I said, no, nasal will not work. That's what they said to me. It will not work. Nobody has made it. Nobody will make it. But anyway, my gut feeling was there, and I drove the project. And now I think we are submitting the clinical completed now, and I think submitting. So we made it. If you make it nasal, simple syringe type, nasal spraying, like in US model, then you have to make a single dose vaccine. Then a single dose means only Ahmedabad people will buy, and nobody else will buy. Okay? So how do you make it travel? So we made as a polio drop concept. Just bend body, put 2 drops here, put 2 drops like that, you're done with the vaccination. And absolutely, we have seen, we've done 3,800 people data, 4,000 people, and absolutely no single side effect, adverse reaction, anything so far. Touch wood on that. So we will be applying for licensure, should come probably if everything goes well. We know it by next month. So I think you would rather get the corona vaccine nasal vaccine. And if any variant comes, easy to plug in quickly and move fast on the nasal. So we are optimistic. Both injectable and nasal strategy will work in protecting the people's life in the future. Any variant comes also, we can handle that. And I think, look at farmers. I think, many farmers commit, at least Gujarat doesn't commit suicide. Now I understand why Gujarat commits suicide. Nobody commits suicide. No, why? Why? Okay, I have my theory. I'll tell you that. Okay, so I'll have my theory. In Kolar, not a single farmer. Both are Nagpur and Kolar, both are same rainfall area. Okay, Kolar, nobody commits suicide. Nagpur people commit suicide. Okay, do you need MS Swaminathan and Sharad Pawar to tell us what the microeconomics for this? It's a simple economics. Okay, look at the cropping pattern of the Kolar. Kolar, they rely on agriculture, they rely on dairy, sericulture, poultry. So they have allied agriculture supports them. Whereas Nagpur, if cotton fails, they finish. So that's why the Gujarat also, you're depending on allied agriculture, allied industries, and other things. That is what is happening and making survival. And I think I looked at it. You look at the village. This is a real story actually. When I went to one of my friend's marriage in Anantapur, I saw one lady. She was milking the cow. There was a milk, one water bucket. The son comes and asks, "Mom, I want to go to school. Give me a bath." The lady said, "No, I don't want you to give bath now." So she sprinkles water on his face. With the sari, she rubs his face, and you go to school. I'll come back in the evening, I'll give you a bath. So I was watching all this thing. I went and asked her, "Is it not a good to send your son in a hygiene condition, give him the water as a bath?" So there's no water in the village. I have only one bucket of water. But these cattle has to be cleaned, and I have to get the milk, and that milk gives me 100 rupees in that day. That is what feeding my son and my husband, who is drunkard. He doesn't come, only comes in the night. Okay? That's the life of rural realities of the life. So I said we should do something in the animal side where farmer has to be protected. Not only protecting their allied income, not only that, even food security will come into problem. If chicken is infected with H5N1, will you eat the chicken? At least Gujarat people doesn't eat meat. Hyderabad people will die. They'll hang themselves. Okay, if that happens. So Hyderabad people cannot live one day also. And I think, so I said we should do something on this matter. The food security will be an issue, and also the allied agriculture will be affected. So we created in Bangalore about 10 years back. We incurred heavy losses in that company. That's a different story. But world's second BSL-3, BSL is almost BSL-4 production facility. And only two facilities in the world. One is in Firbright in UK, and second one is in Bangalore. Actually, you are seeing in the ground, there is 3 underground floors underground. It can withstand even earthquake and other things. It can withstand any highly contagious organism can be produced underground in that. No water should enter into the soil. No air can escape into the environment. That's a fundamental, and no human being should be infected. All 3 concepts should be taken, and we are ahead of the game in type of containment. And I think what farmers need is not production. Farmers are very intelligent in this country. You tell them there's a good market, they'll produce anything in this world. But what is important is the marketing. We forget this country that we tell the farmer grow. And then suddenly onion price drops. Boom. And I think that's where we are not helping in the marketing angle. And we acquired some companies, GSK plant. Actually, at Ankleshwar, Ankleshwar, I think is in Gujarat, am I right? People doesn't know that after Ahmedabad itself. Ankleshwar is right down near Baroda. Okay, so I think we acquired a plant in one of the oldest plant. And this one plant, there's only 2 plants in the world which can produce monkeypox vaccine. One is in Germany, Marburg. That is Bavarian Nordic has acquired another company which had a monkeypox vaccine. The another plant in Ankleshwar, this only plant can produce chicken embryoplast. It's cell line. There's only cell line here. And that can produce monkeypox also if required. Veterinary vaccine, we acquired MSD Animal Healthcare in Pune. And I think COVID vaccine development, a lot of geopolitics. It's like a nuclear, like you're stopping country on a nuclear, like that. They don't want India to be in the league. That's simple. And defame India and its innovation. And in that process, many journalists also joined in that bandwagon. Some are how they joined, I don't know. In the name of freedom of this thing, They defame, they write whatever they want. We had a one death in Bhopal, and they wrote so much of article to the even Lancet that said you should not publish this paper in Lancet. To went to that extent of animosity, okay, that India should not publish even Lancet. Okay, that person, I mean, we don't want anybody to die of a vaccine. And it's a placebo trial. And finally, the person was placebo. But he had some other problem and he died. Okay, but the way people takes it, see, in the US, phase 3 trial of many of these vaccines, many people died in that clinical trial. It's not because some of them pass a placebo. They get COVID infection too in a placebo. That's expected in the clinical trial outcome. But in India, somebody dies for some other reason also. He's going by motorbike, he dies also. Because of vaccine, he died. You see how this country, and I think, the people also in this country, social media, you're all there, you should attack those sort of people. You want to protect India, you need to attack this sort of thing, unauthorized thing. It's very sad. And also, many PR agencies purchased by some of the people. I saw one lady with a 10 years girl holding them and filing a PAL case in Delhi High Court. I want mRNA vaccine. Why I should not be deprived mRNA vaccine? Now, if we give that mRNA vaccine, she will not take it. Okay, she will not take it. Now we know the pericarditis, myocarditis, all the problem. Now they will not take it. Okay, so non-profit foundations, some of the funded in a very, very geopolitics, and political parties are attacking me because they're anti-Modi. They want to attack me also. Okay, so a lot of things. It's a funny. I mean, but anything. One thing I did very simple. You know what I did? A simple thing. Switched off the TV, canceled all the cable TV, all channels closed. My TV removed from the house, put him in the garage, and newspaper stopped. Everything is stopped. When I stop all this thing, my mind is free. Now I don't have to look at it. I don't see the social media. I'm not in Twitter, nothing. So I just monitor. I just mind my work, nothing else. So that helped me actually to withstand so much of pressure, every day negative attack on those things. But if you yield to that, that is what they want you to yield to that, so that you fail. You fail, then they are happy. That's what they want. But we made it. And post-COVID, what will happen? What is next? You're going to have excess facilities. You see the different situation now. And you have excess manpower, who are all recruited vaccine companies, who recruited heavy numbers that time. They're all going to be now jobless. Okay? And government funding is now from COVID, it go to some other funding is going to happen. And I think, India, my last slide, India will innovate. I think India will innovate for the future. The younger generation, I'm very hopeful. They're willing to take a risk. They'll do it. I think I'm telling you, mostly in IT also, they've not created any innovation. They only copied, whether Flipkart, copying the Amazon, those sort of things. Many of them are copied still, that business model, but nothing yet innovated. But I think new entrepreneurs will emerge, and India is certainly going to innovate for the globe. I'm optimistic about that. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
We can have some question answers. If any questions, you can please. Do we have a mobile microphone? Please. Yeah, you can. Yes, please, gentleman over there. Yeah, second, third row.
With you here, sir, talk about COVID is inevitable. And it was just in the news, I think, a couple of days back. And I'm just talking about, in continuation of what you said, that when COVID it is going for past couple of years now. And we always have this challenge that first it was Delta, then it is Omicron and all. So now I think your company is also working on that, how to tackle this subvariants and how to work on that. So as an innovator, as a person who is associated with this, how do you see this challenge and its possible solutions?
Good question. Good question. So what I see is this is a new variant. Okay, now I think you can hear me. Am I right? So I think see, Omicron is over. Okay, I'm predicting H.5, B.5 In November, if it attacks India, then we are in trouble. 0.5. We escape the 0.5 this winter, then we are through. The 0.5 will evade the vaccine. Is a totally different from Delta. It is totally different from Omicron also. So it's going to be, we can call Delta Omicron, they call. Combination of both. So I think if that attacks, then we are in going to be an issue. But we have to keep watching on that. We are working on that also, on that preparing, but risk preparation, risk mitigation, we're trying to do that. But we will see how. But I think we are well prepared now. But that will increase hospitalization. If 0.5 attacks, it will increase hospitalization.
Yeah, there.
You can shout now, no problem. Shout.
Yeah, my copy.
Good evening, everyone. I am Akash. So my question is, when the pandemic struck and we were in dire need of the vaccines, so as a leader, how did you inspire the team at Bharat Biotech, or what were the key messages that you gave to your team to, to assemble everyone to this joint goal of protecting the nation?
This is a good question. As a young kid, you asked Akash. I think it comes from us, okay? The young generation. If I sit in my house and keep drinking scotch and then you work like this, nothing will happen. Okay? So I think me and my wife, we were there in the morning by 8 o'clock till 10, 11, we were there in the plant every day. Okay? And then we made sure the families agreed, their husbands, to stay in the plant. We left all ladies out in this matter. So we made sure all the employees, we asked them to brief their wives that they will not come to 3 months to their house. We kept them near the premise itself because we don't want, they're working with a live virus, they don't carry something to their family and give it somewhere. Okay. So I think, it comes from the top down. It will never come from the bottom up when you have situations like this. An army general sits in a cantonment and drinking scotch, you go war with somebody, will it happen? No. So I think you need to be with them, commandment. I think, is a lot of young people we have. We inspired them. I told them very simple. We may die, it doesn't matter. But let us, this is a time come back for us to give back to the society, give back to the country. This is the only chance. And you are the greatest time because now you have time to give back to the society. Never get the chance again in life. So let us give back. I don't think that inspires. Young generations are the old people are a problem.
Yeah, there. Please.
By the way, I'm not young. I'm 67.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Hiral Shah. Sir, my question is, as you told that while making the vaccines, sometimes we choose the DNA part, sometimes mRNA. So on which basis we select that for this particular virus, we need to select the DNA or for this mRNA?
See, what they do is, I'll give a simple example. Okay? This is a virus. So this is a surface protein, S protein. We call S protein, you might have heard now. S protein, S protein, S protein. So this sequence, the protein sequence of this. For this protein sequence, for the S protein, you make a sequence DNA or RNA. So Zydus Caldera, they made a DNA vaccine sequence to the S protein. Okay, S protein. And they inject into the human. What happens to DNA? DNA has to go to nucleus. And after getting into nucleus, it has to form RNA. Then RNA has to come out of the nucleus. It has to get into cytoplasm. Then it has to translate. You understood the mechanism? Whereas RNA, doesn't go to nucleus. It goes directly to cytoplasm and it makes a protein. So what you're doing is you're making the same protein here, S protein, inside the system. So you understood DNA vaccine, RNA vaccine? Now you are a vaccinologist.
Is that depend on the virus or that is depend on the method of manufacturing only.
No, it all varies different. So what is important is this S protein has got small region called RBD, receptor binding domain. That is one which goes and binds to the receptor in the lungs. Okay. So what we are trying to do is to make an antibody so that it binds to virus before getting into the receptor. So you're capturing like a drone. The virus comes in, this antibody is there to that region, goes and binds it to the virus. Doesn't allow to go and bind to the lungs. That's how you're protected actually. Okay. And after that, body immune system takes over. That is what is that. So what you do is S protein, the receptor is located within that gene. That's why they chosen that. Now people are coming S2 also, small region that may be highly conserved. Whatever is that the antibody that you produce, you should bind to the virus, stop. Uncoating. When virus uncoating stops, the RNA doesn't come out. When RNA doesn't come out, replication doesn't happen. This is a mechanism, simple mechanism.
Sir, I have two questions. Number one is, what is the period of the vaccine? Is how the effectiveness? What is the effectiveness of a vaccine? 3 months, 6 months. Number one question. Second is, we heard about cocktail of Covaxin and Covishield. So, what is your opinion about it? Is it more effective than a continuation of Covaxin or continuation of Covishield? Right?
Your second question, I'll answer first. The second question, cocktail is really good. There's no question about it. Okay. First, we have seen priming with Covaxin followed by Covishield is working very well. There's no question about it. But I am not for any vector-based vaccine as a third dose. Vector-based vaccines, I don't want to comment. The reason is vector-based vaccines, when you develop an immunity, you're developing immunity on two things in a vector-based vaccine. Against the adenovirus itself and also on S protein. Two regions antibody produced. So when you give a third dose vector, so your vector is going to neutralize, the antibody that produced to a vector is going to neutralize. So when you come next time in epidemic, you cannot use your vector-based vaccine. You are in trouble. That is going to be the major problem what we see in the future, the vector-based vaccine. mRNA vaccine does no problem. Even inactivated vaccine, no problem. Cocktail is a good strategy. There's no question about it. And coming to your first question of effectiveness, the third dose is a very miracle dose. You look at childhood vaccine. The first dose is always priming. Second dose, to create a memory. Third, now create both boosting of. And third dose is a miracle. In all childhood vaccine, third dose is very critical in children's vaccination. You look at every child is given 3 doses. And we published recently Nature publication just about 10 days ago, how third dose is so important in giving the Covaxin, is shooting the immunity. And our vaccine produces a lot of T cell response. That means even if you get a variant, you may not get 100% protection against variant, but you will not go to hospital. Even a variant is there. Because you are producing entire virus, you have a S protein, you have nucleoprotein, you have matrix protein, all different protein. You're producing immune response to all these regions. So you still have a variant, you still can be protected a little. I think we are the only company shown ours is protecting Omicron. At least 60-70% protection against Omicron. Nobody has gone to hospital with Omicron. Still protected. I think it's clearly shown that inactivated vaccine is really work. It also creates a T cell response. So my feeling is it will last longer. 170. I think we are loud debates in this country. The TV channels are debates, loves it with the 10 people around there. And everybody gets equal opportunity in this country. Even a doctor who doesn't understand also he gets into TV channel. Who is a clinical person also, he says, I'm a virologist. He gets into virology also. He talks virology. Whatever Google search tells, he talks about it there. Not a critical thinking of their own experience. Nobody has got. But I can tell you, 3 doses enough. Don't go for 4th dose. The 3rd dose, little longer, is always better. But pandemic, it's a pandemic. The problem is that pandemic. If it is a regular vaccine, I will give 6 months down after 2nd dose. Longer is better if it is a non-pandemic.
Yeah, somebody there. Just hold on.
You definitely will get it. No. You will get the COVID. I'm telling all injectable vaccines, you will get it. Omicron is totally new beast. Now you're going to get a new beast 0.5. If it comes, it's still going to be worse. So don't think the vaccine is going to be 100% protection for you. You will get infection. But what is important is hospitalization. You will get a fever, sit, watch Netflix, TV, relax, you'll be all right. But otherwise you'll be seeing Netflix in the hospital without a vaccine. That's all the difference. Gujarat people I cannot tell. Gujarat people I cannot tell Scotch.
Yeah, somebody, yeah, Mike, yeah, please.
I'm Dr. Anand. Sir, I have a question on innovation moving out of COVID, especially your
Thank
slide.
you. Thank you.
So you talked about we are a land of biosimilars and generics, not a single new molecule. So Gujarat, we are a land of pharma, AP, another land of pharma. So what is your vision for coming up with new molecules?
I mean, you look at it, I'm telling honestly, Sarabhai family, the founders of the pharma of this country. Okay? The problem with this generation lost interest. Okay? Earlier generation also lost interest. I mean, is there? They lost interest. Okay? Huh?
I am interested.
They lost interest. I mean, you see, if they continued that momentum, right when that momentum was continued, they would have done it. The market has played a dirty games, and Chinese import, all those things are played, and I think we lost that culture. So buying a Chinese intermediate is cheaper. Buy it, put it, package, sell it. Okay. So that became a habit. So I was telling Radia Saab, 3 baths are problem bad. Ahmedabad, Aurangabad, Hyderabad. So all are bad, but bad also politic. So, and I think it will change now. I think now I'll tell you one good example. Today, Mohal has come into the business. He's not going to do what his father was doing. Okay, he wants to do something different now. But existing business expand. But then how do we create something new? I'm pretty sure he'll be thinking already in that mind. And I think they'll change the game. They'll change the game. I'm telling you honestly. I think the hope is the next generation.
Okay, then the last question, then we wrap up. Please.
Continuing on the Akash's question, I think it's quite simpler to motivate your team during crisis. So, how do you suggest to motivate? For example, I have a startup. So, right now, then I see the gap, but how to motivate my team to fill up that gap?
See, it's a tough. See, when you're a startup, the generation joins you. They are looking at after joining with you, they'll be looking up to some other job already. That's the problem with the startups. A lot of people are facing problem. We have not created a culture in this country of passion to do. Okay, I believe in you, and I believe your idea. How do I go along with it? The passion is not created. I think it's very tough. I fully understand it's very tough, but I think you just have to inspire them. Inspire them, be part of it. You say, if I succeed, I'll share with you this much. You have to entice them in a different way. Tell them, if I succeed, I'll share with you this. Right now, I can't give you the problem for you, but I'll give you the benefit of it, profit of it a little later. Hold on, but I'll pay you this salary. Don't worry about it. You have to inspire, friendly, and you have to work double the work of what he is doing. Unless you work 2 times, you will not work 1 time. So you have to inspire that way by working hard. So the pressure is on you also to work more. Otherwise, I'm a startup, I'll sit in home and let those people work. No, you're finished. Thank you. One boy, young boy is over. He's got a nice shirt.
Hello everyone, I am Chinmay Thakkar. Thank you sir for the insightful session. And as you said that by asking the simple question, you get the best answer. So there's a simple question from my side. As you are the man of business and innovation both, so how can one create an innovative idea into a successful business model?
I think it's very simple. I didn't tell a lot of things actually. I have 14 companies. Bharat is one. Okay. And that's one company I don't like nowadays. Okay. We are entrepreneurs and innovating. Once you get bored, the COVID means I get allergic now. Okay. So I move on to something else. Look at simple example. I was drinking in village, the river water in Tamil Nadu. I'm from Tamil Nadu village. River water, I used to drink that water when I was a child. When I come home, the well water, they treat with that, what is the chemical? No, that smell, calcium, chlorine. They put in the well those days. I'm talking about 50 years back. Okay, they put chlorine into the water. That time, a lot of problem, disease. So they put in the well itself. They put a chlorine. So all the people who drink the well water, it will always chlorine smell. I never used to like that water. My mom used to yell at me. I used to always drink. That was there always in my mind. Why this river water was so tasty? Still, I can feel the taste of that even now. Okay. I found simple. It's got a silica road. Its purification is happening. Silica is a wonderful purification, and there are a lot of plants in the river. Okay, it's picking up the fragrance from the plants. Some of the water soluble medicinal things are picking up. Assume, I don't have any evidence. It's just an hypothesis. Okay? So I thought about it, creating. So what I did is I made a herbal water, and I got a global patent. Okay, including India and China approved. US also approved, Europe also approved. Nothing. The innovation is very simple. You put a herbal extracts into that. How do you retain that herbal smell inside? You should hold it. So I put rose, what is that? Rose essence. I put rose essence that holds all the herbals inside the water. That's the innovation. That incremental innovation. Okay. Now I'm going to launch. I was talking to Sharma now. He is going to make me free equipment now. Okay. Water plant. He's going to make it. He disappeared, I think. He disappeared. So I'm going to make a herbal water. Okay. Another one. Everybody wants vitamin D3. Am I right? The COVID time. So I said, Gujarat people doesn't want any animal origin. Am I right? You want a vegetarian. Nobody has taught this concept in India. Whatever vitamin D3 you are eating is from sheep. Okay. I said, we made a vegetarian, I imported from the UK, from plant-based vegetarian vitamin D3. I made a nanoparticle. Now I made a vitamin D3 water. Is there a big science in this? No science, simple. And I fought a patent. Okay, an idea converted into patent. So that's why now you understand how simple thinking is. You answered your question.
Thank you all. Just be seated for 2 minutes, and I request Mohal Bhai to have the last word. Word of thanks, please.
Mike.
Okay, you can hear me.
Yeah. No.
Thank you so much for traveling and giving us such a frank and great conversation. I'm sure everyone would want to stay a lot more, but we have commitments of time. So I think one thing you didn't mention, that you have more than 160 patents in your name. That is incredible for an Indian company to have, being in the pharma space, to have such level of patents and such level of innovation. As he said, innovation brings leadership. I think that's something that we can all take as a gold standard for entrepreneurs. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for taking your time and giving us, and all the best for your nasal vaccine. Hopefully it's available to all of us very soon. I also take the opportunity to thank Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. He could not be here. He is traveling, but he's our honorary secretary of AMA, and he helped us actually in getting Dr.
He pulled me, actually, blackmail.
Yeah, so I was choice two, by the way, if that didn't work. So, yeah.
But I enjoyed.
Also, thanks to the members of the press who are here, and to all of you. Thank you for coming. This has been a great question and answer series. And I'm sure this will have great lectures coming soon. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, Devyeshwar, you have to give a memento to Dr.
You reminded me of the gift.
Yeah, I had to.
We'll just, on behalf of AMA and all of you,
Sarabhai photo is not there.
this is simple.
Simple. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so much. See, we have. It's just an add-on to this. Some small, handicraft thing, for this. And each lecture, we produce this, it's just about Vikram Sarabhai. Yeah, please. So you have one more copy. Yeah. I've taken that one. A copy there, one more. We'll send it out in the courier. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be. Yeah. So here, one. Yeah, no.
I want to